Hi, my name is Alyssa Moss, and I'm the Digital Literacy Specialist at the Colusa County Office of Education for the And Literacy for All team. Thank you for joining me today for this training about Footsteps to Brilliance and the iPad lending program that we are providing for Williams Elementary School. Here is my contact information, along with the contact information of my colleague Stephanie Santana, who is our literacy liaison. If you have any questions, you can ask Stephanie or I at either our email or our phone numbers listed here. Our offices are listed at the Education Village in Williams at 499 Marguerite Street. We are available for phone conferences, Zoom conferences, and one-on-one meetings if you do need some additional assistance using Footsteps to Brilliance, the iPad, or have any questions for us about Footsteps to Brilliance in general. So why spend time on literacy? Well, 90% of a child's brain development happens before the age of 5. So it's really important to start using literacy concepts from an early age. There's a strong connection to student achievement in school and literacy. By spending 15 minutes a day on literacy, you are strengthening your child's brain. So for Footsteps to Brilliance, what we are really encouraging is that you spend 15 minutes a day with your child on the app. There are 3 learning apps under the Footsteps to Brilliance umbrella. The first one is Footsteps to Brilliance School Edition, which is the Apple app that you see on the far right, and it has thousands of books and games to develop reading, writing, and critical thinking skills. Now, in January of 2020, there were 2 other apps that were launched at the Colusa County Office of Education, and those were the Clever Kids University Pre-Reader and the Clever Kids University I Can Read. Clever Kids University Pre-Reader is geared through ages 3 through 5 and has fun daily activities that prepare children for kindergarten. Clever Kids University I Can Read has fun daily activities that teach children to read and write and is geared for those in ages 4 through 8. Today we're going to be focusing on Footsteps to Brilliance itself, but Clever Kids University I Can Read and Clever Kids University Pre-Reader are all available on the iPad that has been provided for you. Now, before we jump ahead, I want to quickly go through what is in the folders that we sent home with you. Now, in each folder that you received, there are a few different documents in there. You'll see that my contact information and my colleague Steffi's contact information is here. So you can call us or email us if you need some answers to questions or just have a comment for us. We have a Footsteps to Brilliance parent account card. And if you would like a parent account to monitor your child's progress on Footsteps to Brilliance, just fill this card out and either email it to us, or you can drop it off at the Ed Village and just say it's for Alyssa or Stephanie, and we will create a parent account for you. We also have our Getting Started guides, and these are in both English and Spanish. So a lot of what we're going over today you'll find in the PowerPoint that's also in the folder, but a lot of the information from the PowerPoint you can also find on these guides. So you can reference these guides after this if you have questions, look at the PowerPoint if you have questions, and of course you can always contact us. We also have our Spring Reading Challenge documents. So this is something I'm going to go over towards the end of the PowerPoint, but we have a Spring Reading Challenge going on right now, and you'll find the instructions for that in both English and Spanish. And on the back, you will find the game board that goes along with that challenge. And like I said, I'll get back into that later. And lastly, in your folder, you'll see we have a Wi-Fi hotspot sheet. It's in English and it's in Spanish, and it has Wi-Fi account names and passwords throughout the county should you want to use Wi-Fi for the children's school. So if they are doing Zoom for school or Google Classroom for school, those are some great options for you to connect to the internet. Now, one thing that you will see is that with Footsteps to Brilliance, you do not need internet to use the app. So who has access to Footsteps to Brilliance and Clever Kids University? Students pre-K through 3rd grade, unenrolled children ages birth through third grade. So those are children who are in the home and maybe are not part of a daycare program. Parents of children ages birth through third grade also have access. So like I showed you, there is that parent registration card if you would like to get a parent account. And district and school staff also have the ability to see how schools are doing, how teachers are doing, how the children are doing, to monitor their progress. So these are for Colusa County children only. It's exclusively for those who reside in Colusa County. It works on any mobile device, so whether it's an iPad, an iPod, a smartphone, or a computer, you can use Footsteps to Brilliance. It also supports bilingual language development. So every book, game, and activity is in both English and Spanish. And like I said before, internet connection is not required to use Footsteps to Brilliance. You only need internet to download the app, download the books and the games, update the app, and report your progress. So if your teacher is going to be monitoring Footsteps to Brilliance, it might be good to connect to a Wi-Fi source once every 3 weeks, once every 2 weeks, whatever your preference is. But for the iPads themselves, you do not need to use Wi-Fi because everything has already been downloaded for your child. It's important when using Footsteps to Brilliance to set a routine for daily use. So we recommend 15 minutes per day, 5 days a week. Now, of course, if your child is enjoying Footsteps to Brilliance and they want to use it for a longer period of time, definitely encourage that. But we would say maybe no more than 45 minutes a day because it is important for children to have learning opportunities outside of Footsteps to Brilliance. It's good to have the children do it at the same time each day, just to make it part of your routine, and to use short sessions. So again, no more than 45 minutes, but a minimum of 15 minutes a day. Now, ways that you can support your child's literacy are to listen to them. So listening when they are reading their book, listening to them when they are playing their games, seeing what they're needing help on. You can look at what they're doing when they're on Footsteps to Brilliance, and that look aspect also applies to having a Footsteps to Brilliance parent account. So you can actually see how they're doing in different areas. And that will allow you to help them when they are using Footsteps to Brilliance. They may be stuck on a literacy concept that they are just not understanding, like reading comprehension. And if you are engaging with them while they're using the app, you can help them to develop those important literacy skills. And that leads to encouragement. Always encourage your child, even if they are having a hard time on Footsteps to Brilliance with some areas, encourage them to practice and use words like great job or keep up the good work or keep trying. It's always good to encourage your child when they're using something, especially something new like this. It's important to create positive practices when using Footsteps to Brilliance, just like you would when your child is doing anything else that is learning oriented. Talk with them, help them with sounds and letters, talk about the different books, read with them. You can read a book to them, you can have them try to help you read the book, and you can ask questions about what is read. How to read a Footsteps to Brilliance book. Now, this may take some practice for you to get the hang of it as well, but there are different icons on there that will allow you to interact with the book. So there is a blue speaker icon. If you press or click on the speaker icon, it will read the page to you. There's also a red microphone that will allow your child to record themselves and they can listen to it back. They can also touch the words and the words will read themselves. You can click on the pictures and the pictures will move in the story and they will associate themselves with a word. And you can also toggle back and forth between English and Spanish at any time when using the app. We encourage you to follow the stars when using Footsteps to Brilliance. Every book will have 4 stars that go along with it. The pink star says, read the book, so that will be the first step. The second star is Book Buddies. Book Buddies has reading comprehension questions that tie to the story. The blue star, Games, is all about literacy concepts through play. So the game will tie to the story or to a literacy concept found in the story. And create a book. Your child has the option with the purple star to create a book that's related to the story. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to open up your bag if you haven't already done so. And inside your bag, you have an iPad. You also have some headphones. There is a charger and a stylus. So the stylus can be used on the iPad. If you press down at the top, you'll see it's very soft, and your child can use that when touching the iPad. If you click it, it also turns into a pen. So I'm going to ask you to take out your iPad, and I'm going to point out some different areas on there. So the very top of the iPad, so go ahead and have your iPad like this, face it to you, and at the very top of the iPad, you will see a little rectangular button. That is the on and off switch, so it's the power button. So let's go ahead and let's open up the iPad, and I would like you to go ahead and press the power button. Now you may need to hold it down for some time before it actually kicks on, but once you see the apple come up on the screen, that's when you know it's on. So you might have to press down a little hard because the protective case keeps the iPad safe, but it also makes it a little tough to turn it on. Now you'll also notice on the side of the iPad, so on the side that does not have the side of the case, on the side of the iPad here are the volume buttons. So the top button, if you press that, it will turn the volume up. And the bottom button, if you press that, it will turn the volume down. So that's how you can control the volume. There's also a home button at the very bottom. So at the very bottom, you'll see a little circle here, and that is the home button. So if I were to get into an app, for example, if I were to get into Footsteps to Brilliance and I accidentally did that, I just press the home button once and it takes me back home. So it gets me out of the app. There is also a camera. So if we close the case on the iPad and we look at the back, this circle here in the corner, that's a camera. The camera has been disabled on all of the iPads. The only thing that is enabled on the iPads are the settings and the 3 Footsteps to Brilliance apps. So the 2 Clever Kids and the School Edition. And then at the very bottom of the iPad, there is a battery charging port. So you will take your charger that was provided to you, and that is where it plugs in at. It's just right at the bottom there in the middle. And then you just plug it into the wall. Lastly, if you look at the top, so we have our power button that is a rectangle. If you look all the way to the other side, you'll see a circle. That is where you can plug in the headphones. Okay? And then the apps or applications are just all of these little squares, all of the software on there that you can interact with. So now that we have turned on the iPad, I would like you to go ahead and open up the Footsteps to Brilliance app. So go ahead and look on your iPad and you should see the little Footsteps to Brilliance icon on there. So go ahead and touch that once, and you can use the stylus if you would like to. It works on there. And then when you open it up, you should see this page. to log in, you're going to locate your child's super secret code card. So each of you have also received in your bag a super secret code card with your child's name on it and their super secret code listed. If you look on the back of your iPad as well, you will find a little piece of paper here that has your child's code in letter form. So you can use it that way, or you can just use the card that has been provided for you. It'll work either way. To log in, you're going to press super secret code. So go ahead and look on the iPad and you're going to touch use my super secret code to log in. Now, two ways that you can do that are through images or letters. So on your card, you will see that there are images as well as letters underneath. So if you look at your iPad, on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a blue circle, this blue circle right here. If you click on that, it will allow you to switch to entering the code with letters. So if you ever lose the little code card that has been provided for you, that is why we have put a sticker on the back of the iPad with your child's code in letter form. So you can also insert it through letters. And when you do that, it just switches to letters on the iPad and you can insert it that way. After you have inserted your child's super secret code, you will press the green arrow. Footsteps to Brilliance has 3 different levels that you will see now that you're logged into your child's account. The red level is ideally suited for preschoolers and beginning readers. So those in preschool, transitional kindergarten, and kindergarten. The red level is great for them. The yellow level is ideally suited for developing readers and writers. So children in 1st and 2nd grade should use the yellow level. And the blue level is ideally suited for independent readers and writers, so 2nd and 3rd graders should use the blue level. Of course, if your child is an advanced reader or writer for their grade level, they can advance to the next level. It's really up to you where you want your child to work. But these are just suggestions in case you get stuck or are not sure where to start. Now that we're logged into Footsteps to Brilliance, we are going to open up one of the books. Now, something I want to acknowledge is the English and Spanish toggle button. So if you look on the iPad, you will see this button that says ENG, ESP. ENG is English and ESP is Spanish. So go ahead and touch that to go back and forth between the 2 languages. ESP will light up red and ENG will be blue. Now what I would like you to do is open Karaoke Nursery Rhymes and select the book Jack and Jill. Here is Karaoke Nursery Rhymes. I'm going to open that. And if I go down just a little bit, I will find Jack and Jill. So I'm going to open Jack and Jill. Now this is the home page for the book, and as you can see, it has the 4 stars that we had mentioned before. So just follow the stars when using this with your child if you'd like some sort of lesson plan to use with them. To read the book, you're going to click on Read Book. Here is the home page for the book, and if we click on this blue speaker icon here, it will read the page to me.
Jack and Jill, illustrated by Carolina Jeva.
To get all the way back to the Footsteps to Brilliance main page, I'll click on My Library and the back arrow. But I'm going to show you some more options in Karaoke Nursery Rhymes Jack and Jill. So I'm going to go back inside. If I want to get back to the main page for the book itself, I touch Book Home. And here again is the toggle option between English and Spanish. So if your child is doing dual immersion, that would be a great thing to do because one week you can do the book in Spanish and the next week you can read it in English. Now to go through the book, I will click on the purple arrow. And here it shows readability measures for this book. If I want this page to be read to me, just like we did with the title page, I will click on the same icon, the speaker icon.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
If your child is reading the story to you and they're stuck on a word, so let's say they're stuck on the word tumbling, they can touch the word and it will read it to you.
Tumbling.
Here is the microphone button if your child would like to record themselves singing the song or reading the story. They click on it, and here's the record button. And after they record, they can touch the listen button, and it will play it back. Now the story is broken down into line by line, and each of the pictures are interactive. So if I see this animal and I'm not sure what it is, I can touch it and it will tell me what it is.
Bird.
Same with the other aspects of the picture.
Trees.
And it is in English and Spanish.
Pájaro. Árboles.
And you also have the speaker icon here to read the story and the microphone here. Once your child gets to the end of the story, they have the option to play Book Buddies, which has reading comprehension questions. We have our speaker icon here now in yellow that does the same thing it did with the book.
Choose an unlocked bookshelf. When you master all the bookshelves, touch the trophy to get your prize.
I'm going to touch bookshelf A.
Why did Jack and Jill go up the hill?
And it asks your child the reading comprehension questions. It also has the option for a hint. If your child gets stuck, they can touch the hint button and they can look back in the story. So why did Jack and Jill go up the hill?
A. To fetch a pail of water.
Good job!
What did Jack break?
Your child has the option to earn points every time that they are working on an activity. What did Jack break? If I'm not sure, and I look at the image and I'm still not sure, I'm going to guess.
A. His leg.
We'll see what happens.
So close.
So it gives your child messages of encouragement even when they get the answer wrong.
C. His crown.
Way to go! Way to go!
And the opportunity to try again.
Who are the main characters? B. Jack and Jill.
Fantastic!
Who was watching Jack fall down the hill? A. A bird.
Amazing!
Who fell down the hill first?
And as you can see, your child will probably need some assistance with this. If they don't know how to read yet, you may need to show them how to touch each
A. Jill.
option,
B. The bird. C. Jack.
or you can read it to them. It's a good bonding opportunity.
Wow, good job!
Great job! I knew you could do it!
Now let's go back to see what is in the next star. And games is next.
Choose an unlocked case. When you master all the cases, touch the trophy to get your prize.
You can toggle this between English and Spanish.
Elige una de las maletas desbloqueadas. Cuando completes todas las maletas, toca el trofeo y recibe tu premio.
Choose an unlocked
I'm going
case.
to choose
When you master
case
all
A.
the cases, touch the cards that are the same to make a match.
And this game is just like memory. So if you've ever played the game memory, you're going to turn the cards over to try to find a match. So you're going to try to find two images that are the same.
Bird. Tree.
So
Bird,
close. Try again.
tree. Tree,
So close.
tree. Bird, bird.
And as your child progresses through this game, you'll see that there are more cards that are added.
Pail, pail. Down, crown,
Don't give
crown.
up.
Crown. Down, down.
I'm going to go back now and we're going to look at the last star. Create a book. So for create a book, your child has the opportunity to create a book related to the story Jack and Jill. So I'm going to click on New Book. And in here, I have the option to draw. I can use fun backgrounds, characters from the story, different shapes, and different emoticons. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a book about Jack and Jill, and I'm going to use this background here. And I'm going to pick a character. So I'm going to use the bird. And I think I'm going to put Jill on there, and I can move the images around. And I'll use Jack. And it says, write a story about a boy and a girl going on a hike. So it also gives your child a prompt for their book. If I press up here, I can type in the name of my story. Jack and Jill. I'm going to go to the next page. And it says, touch here to write your story. Now, if I would like to use some words from the story, I can go to the word bank over here. And it gives me 6 different options for words. So I'm going to start writing my story, and this is where your child will probably need some assistance. They went up the hill. Oh, okay, yes, that's the one I wanted. And then again, I can draw on there if I want to. I can add in a background. I can throw in some characters. I can also put in some shapes. I can make them bigger or smaller. And some emotions. And one thing you can do is you can have your child look at the expressions on the faces of the characters, and you can say, what emotion are they feeling? And they can find one on here that matches that feeling. Now I'm going to click on the green check mark because I am done with my story. And now I have the option to edit, print, or email the story. Now, because the iPads themselves are not connected to the internet, you don't have this option, but you can log into Footsteps to Brilliance on a computer by going to myf2b.com, and you can access your child's work that way. I'm going to go back now. And I would like to go all the way back to my library. And Footsteps to Brilliance is set up in 3 different categories for each level. So my library has different interactive books that have literacy concepts. My games has different literacy games. And my writing has the create a book option, so your child can create a book about anything. My doodle pad is a whiteboard that your child can draw on. And we also have better big letters and better little letters, where your child can practice tracing letters. So the stylus that was provided to you is a great opportunity to use when using the better big letters and better little letters, especially because they are practicing creating those letter shapes. If you would like to log out of Footsteps to Brilliance, on this left-hand side here is the log out button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that to log out. Lastly, what I would like to talk to you about today is an exciting opportunity for children in the iPad Lending Program. They can exclusively participate in the Spring Break Reading Challenge. If you open up your folder again, you will find some documents for the challenge. You will find the game board in both English and Spanish, and you will also find a Spring Reading Champion certificate. This certificate is something that you can give to your child when they complete the Spring Break Reading Challenge. So let's take a look at the game board a little bit more in depth. For the Spring Break Challenge, it says complete one game square each day of spring break and check the box. Return your completed game board to your teacher to receive your certificate. So instead of returning your completed game board to your teacher to receive your certificate, you can simply take a photo of the completed game board and either text it to Stephanie or I, or send it via email. You can also drop by the Education Village at 499 Marguerite Street and drop off your child's Spring Break Challenge. And once they finish the challenge, they have the opportunity to receive a free book or a literacy puzzle from us as a reward. So first thing your child is going to do is read a book of your choice. So that is for your child's choice. So they will go and they will select a book from Footsteps to Brilliance. They will read it, then they'll play book buddies and the games related to the book. That's the first activity. Because there are 3 stars involved in that activity, that is something that can be spread over a few days. You don't have to try and get that completed in 15 minutes. Next, play any game of your choice for 15 minutes. So if you remember, Footsteps to Brilliance levels are separated by books, games, and writing. So in the games section, your child will select a game to play and play it for 15 minutes. Then your child will write their own story and create a book. So at the bottom of Footsteps to Brilliance in the My Writing section, you will have them create a book. Now there are some stipulations that go along with creating a book. They have to have at least 4 pages, include at least 6 to 10 words on each page, include pictures that match the words on the page, and have a family member help. So with your help, they can definitely accomplish that. And again, that's something that can be spread over a few days. It doesn't have to happen all in one day. Next, your child will read a book of their choice. Again, they'll play book buddies and games related to the book. They will then play a game for 15 minutes, and they will create their own book again with the same stipulations. Once your child completes all of those activities, bring the certificate to us or send a photo of it to us, and we will coordinate with you on when you can come to pick up your child's book or literacy puzzle. This does not have to be completed over spring break. You can start it right away if you would like to give your child some extra time. Thank you for joining me today for this training about Footsteps to Brilliance. Here is my contact information and Stephanie's contact information again. Please don't hesitate to contact us should you have questions, comments, or concerns about Footsteps to Brilliance. We are available for virtual and in-person trainings, so if you would like to meet with one of us, please give us a call and we can set that up.